Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Brazil's Beatriz Ferreira defended her IBF lightweight title against the Frenchwoman Licia Boudersa. Now, Beatriz, I think I've seen all of her fights. This was her sixth one, and she completely dominated Boudersa, winning every round. Both these ladies 32 years old, but with Beatriz, you know, she's a two-time Olympian. She's picked up, I think, a bronze medal and a silver, or the other way around. She actually turned pro before her second Olympic appearance. And this is only her sixth fight, and yet she's already the IBF champ. Now, she won it in her fifth fight with a unanimous decision. And I mean, it was just the other girl couldn't do anything with her. I mean, Miss Boudersa came in with quite a flashy record, 23 wins, only 4 KOs, but you don't expect a lot of KOs in women's boxing because of the 2-minute rounds. 2 defeats and 2 draws. She lost 3 fights ago for an EBU title. That was against an undefeated lady called Rima Ayadi, and she's had a couple of little runarounds against journeywomen, but she then gets an IBF title shot, and she was found wanting, although certainly not in the courage department. Or she came to the ring to the sounds of Edith Piaf. This is in Monte Carlo, so I'm afraid the celebrations ended there because this fight was as tragic as Edith Piaf's life was for Miss Mademoiselle Boudersa. She, like I say, I don't think she really won a minute of any round, and she was beaten up. She looked huge for the weight. I mean, really, either that or Beatriz Ferreira is really small for the weight. But actually, in actual fact, if you look through her record, and I wasn't that familiar with her record till I looked at it on BoxRec, she's actually fought at featherweight and super featherweight. And yet she looked enormous, really tall and quite big with it at lightweight. But there's only one woman landing any kind of meaningful punches, and that was the Brazilian Ferreira, who, if anything, is a little bit too aggressive in the sense that she sometimes falls in, steps over the front foot a bit, desperate to land hard punches. Her feet are not always perfectly set, but I suppose if you're that aggressive and there's nothing coming back at you, the temptation is, I'm just going to steam into this opponent and ragdoll them. And that's kind of what happened. I mean, Licia came in with a brace on her, I think it was her right leg. And considering she was going to have to move against Beatriz, that wasn't a very optimistic scenario, because if she did have a leg injury, a knee injury, this was not the opponent to have it against. To beat Beatriz, I mean, unless you are, incredibly tough and punch incredibly hard, and you're prepared to meet her in the middle of the ring and lock horns, you're going to have to outbox her. You're going to have to move, slip and slide, be a bit of a female Sonny Edwards. And Boudersa did move an awful lot. Actually, her leg did hold up, but she couldn't land anything of any real meaning. She tried a few jabs very early on. A couple did land. She flaps with the right hand, Boudersa. There's no real power to it. Like I say, she's only got 4 KOs in 23 wins. But to be honest with you, Beatriz, for all her dominance, she didn't score any knockdowns and she didn't stop Licia. So I guess you could say maybe you might want to cast aspersions on Ferreira's power as well. I don't know. I thought Boudersa showed immense courage and a very, very good chin. When she was clocked cleanly, she would mug at Beatriz and, say, hey, he didn't hurt me. Come on in. Come and get me. All right, that's not going to win you rounds. That shows a lot of courage, but it's not going to win you rounds. And I did get the feeling that she was kind of sort of blag and bluff her way through a lot of this fight. She got warned by the referee. Miss Milani warned her for holding a few times. Didn't take any points off. And Boudersa, I mean, again, she was complaining, saying, oh, yeah, I'm being hit behind the back of the head. And, yeah, maybe. But no, in the pocket. Ferreira was fine in the pocket. She was quite happy to have an up-close and personal little rumble. But Boudersa, up close now, there was only going to be one winner, and it weren't going to be the Frenchwoman. On the move, she just had to try and flick the jab, pinch rounds, show angles, but she did too much running, she did too much moving. And the second half of the fight, she was basically just being ragdolled by what looked like a much smaller woman, but was clearly a stronger woman. So this was, the first defence of the IBF title for Beatriz Ferreira. I've always rated her highly as a female fighter. Maybe now I'm thinking the power is lacking a bit, but to be honest, again, it's a technique. For someone who's a two-time Olympian, she should know that you don't fall over the front foot. You've got to plant your feet. You've got to quicken up your feet, and that split second when you plant them, you let your combinations go. And Boudersa, she moved a lot. I suppose that was maybe throwing Beatrice off a little bit, but I still rate her very highly. And of course, the fight I want to see, as someone from the UK, is Caroline Dubois against Beatriz Ferreira. This was proposed last year, I think it was, or certainly at the first part of this year. But I really want to see that. I really, really want to see that. I mean, Beatrice is a matchroom fighter. Caroline is a boxer fighter. So Eddie and Ben will have to get together, have a little chit chat and work something out. But that fight would not look out of place on a Riyadh card. Beatriz Ferreira and Caroline Dubois. Definitely that would be a good fight. So that's the one I want to see. Will it happen or not? I don't know. But again, Beatriz Ferreira, a little bit deceptive that she's only had 6 pro fights, because she's had all this amateur experience. She's kind of in the same bracket as Galal Yafai, not many fights, but didn't really need them, could be fast-tracked, especially as we keep saying with the women's game, there aren't a great deal of, there isn't a great deal of depth to a lot of these divisions. Maybe the lighter divisions are a bit better off. But I get the impression Ferreira could probably go down to super feather. I mean, she's got this lightweight belt, but she does look a little bit soft around the middle. I reckon she'd get down to super feather, but she probably don't want to. She probably just, the bigger girls are bigger targets, aren't they? Maybe that's her view. I don't know. But yeah, good fighter, very, very good fighter. Looking forward to seeing her, and fingers crossed for that Caroline Dubois bout. What did you think of this fight? It was very one-sided, but big courage from Licia Boudersa. But there's only ever going to be one winner. What do you think should be next for Beatrice? Do you agree with me about the Caroline Dubois fight? Or who else would you put her in with? Or would you see her drop down a division, or maybe even 2? She is a little bit fleshy around the middle. But let me know what your thoughts are. Comments below. As always, thank you for your time. If you like the video, you could hit the like button. That'd be good. Or hit the subscribe button if you're a new viewer. Thank you very much. It's free. It costs nothing. You can build the channel up. Win-win. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a lot. More to come. Take care. Bye for now.